What, did I screw up, huh? That was, um, well, this is a follow up video to the anonymous searcher video that I put up. Um, uh, da, da, da. Yeah, early bird, huh? Yeah, I was late, all right. I was constructing a new redo my Porsche setup that put up to my RV for steps to get up to my RV. I was out there working on it, and I thought I had 2 hours, and it seemed like I was working on it half an hour, and I was like, come in and say, oh shit, I missed my premiere thing. Yeah, thanks. Had to remove one person. Ed is blocked now. I didn't watch it because I was like, well, I'm supposed to go live after this, and so I can answer some any questions anybody had about it. I intended to have my next video. I'm going to interview Puppet Forrest. You should enjoy that one. I've been talking to Puppet Forrest, and gonna edit. I'm gonna have Puppet Forrest in the interview next. Next interview, probably planned for next Sunday, huh? Yeah, I was outside. I have I was fixing up some a better front porch steps outside my RV, and time went by, and I didn't realize it was 7 o'clock. Yeah, yeah. Ed's gone. He's not allowed in here. Mm. Yeah, even all this, the legal documents and all that show where, because that video I put it together before Forrest came out with before that legal document showed up on the internet, and he said quote chest, but before that quote chest, he never said chest after it was found. That was the first time he said chest. So some people, oh well, we know different. Well, I edited the video before that information came out, and besides that, there are chest can mean several things. you know, like a book is a chest of stories. The forest has a chest full of artifacts. uh, I guarantee it was found in Colorado. When it comes out, it was found in Colorado. I and what people don't realize, this whole thing with Forrest saying the chest was found, actually the blaze and all this stuff was found a couple of years ago, but Forrest's original intention of this whole hunt was for it to end when he died, and that's when the finder of the blaze and his trove of stories on the canyon walls, when the finder of that stuff would be rewarded. And I've watched several videos of people saying that they're the finder and so on. Nose running, and none of them have anything to them. what I found his stories on the canyon walls, and he's forces. He's playing the game. He's playing his role, and if you really understood the poem, where it says it's the cold, that part of the poem is referring to Charlton Heston, who played Moses, when he said to the NRA, "From my cold dead hands." And so that's why Forrest has the treasure. Yeah. Now, you see, and I'm not saying, no, I'm saying nobody has it, but Forrest is the only one with the treasure chest. He's the one with the treasure chest, and he's taking it to the grave. He intended on leaving it to the winner in his will. The only problem was too many people were dying, and pretty soon you're going to hear somebody, drowned in the ocean in Florida, blaming his death on Forrest Fenn. And he didn't want any more death blamed on him. And so he said, well, we have a winner. We're not going to show you the winner yet, is all he was doing. When the winner has the chest and all, then he'll be ready to come out and make the definite, yeah, I've got it. But even at that point, it can take a break from and get it all set up legally, have it in the hands that are going to exhibit it and stuff like that, and legally protected before the anonymous finder is gonna come out in public. Yeah, it was. K-Pro was bringing it up. It had to be sometime just before he made the announcement that he had a gut feeling. He had a gut feeling, and that was February of 2018. January 10th of 2018, I sent Forrest pictures of the blaze, which is Moses. Which I can, it's funny. Oh, where is that image? I'll show you. Huh. Should be. No, yeah, there it is. I'll show you this. It's funny. There he is with the blaze. I have something like that in my next video. That's Moses. The Moses, and he says on Mysterious Writings that Leo Salazar said that's where Moses received the Ten Commandments, and then he said on Mysterious Writings that success is an omnipotent guru, and in the book where Leo Salazar said that's where Moses received the Ten Commandments, he said it like some kind of omnipotent religious guru. In other words, success is the guru who knows where Moses is, and I found Moses, and it was over 2 years ago. Anybody trying to make a claim that they found it before me can kiss my ass, because I've got the photographs of when I took it, and I also have the overlapping photographs of the adjacent parts of the rock face that they're all dated, all in order, and somebody's going to have a hard time faking something that they found it before me. They're going to have to show all the pictures that were taken around it and in sequence and series that with that one in it, and it's taken at winter solstice. You can't get that picture any other time except right around winter solstice. Who is Leo Salazar? Leo Salazar is on page 105 of Once Upon a While. He says, well, here's Moses. Like, here's Johnny. Well, here's Moses. You know? And this, as he came out, I had already found the blaze. I had already found it. And then he put this book out. Let's see, what's the date on the book? "2017. Yeah, I'd already been there. I already had pictures of it and stuff. You know, and I had the Buffalo Cowboy car. And so this is Once Upon a While is a story of the past. It's a memoir, but memories are treasures. You don't treasure your memories, and if your memories are on the canyon wall, that's even a bigger treasure. So, yeah, that chapter in Once Upon a While talks about Leo Salazar. I've brought him up many times. And the thing is, Moses is carved out of wood. So there's braving in the wood, too. That wood, I'll read you what it says about it. Easy to skip a page thumbing through. It's right after Things I Covet, and then there's Moses. He says, it was interesting to watch his sharp knife skillfully whittle the wood, which did little to resist the artist's efforts. So the wood didn't resist the artist's efforts. The artist is taking a knife to it. I only got one knife here on my desk. It's a Sharpie or an X-Acto. But so right there, he's telling you that, this was brave wood. It did little to resist the artist's efforts as he whittled the wood, which did little. And the face of Moses began to appear. Leo's smile brightened. I just sat there and grinned. Forrest just sat there. I'm not going to say a word. He sat there and grinned. But that's what he's saying in here. Several hours later, there stood the prophet in his majestic, flowery, flowing robe. And it's the same Moses that I found up on the mountain. Notice the puppet, belt buckle. So that Moses on the mountain was the model for the wooden Moses. And if you found him up there on that 1,000-foot bluff, up there on that 1,000-foot stone bluff, then you found the blaze, and I found the blaze. Nobody else has anything near as obvious, and Forrest, he still intends, I don't know, keep it in that treasure chest until he's gone. I wouldn't mind having it so I could get some better housing than what I have. But it looks like he's going to make me wait until he's gone. Jack. Hey, Jack. Kiwi. Who else in here? Captain Marvel. Alex Roy. Okay. I know an Alex. Probably not that Alex. And speak answers the question directly. Or the actual soul. That's right. Bob Art. Jack, John 321. What have you been up to? Um, I've been farting around here on my property and relaxing, working on the videos. And yesterday we had a wind, 45-mile-an-hour gust all of a sudden, blew the roof off my little oxygen shed, and tore part of my roof off my RV. Like it happens over and over every time the wind comes up. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. And then you got to fiberglass it in. The wind gets up. When the wind comes from behind the RV, the air gets under it and blows the roof up. I said there are many correct solves. In the Rockies, only one contains the chest. Yeah. I'll show you another one. The chest one. And this thing I'm going to show you is right below the Moses. I got to do it. It's in my Giphies. Getting it out. Yeah, in Giphy, I guess I'm Bill Gorman. Oh, at Clovis Man. So I'm giphy.com/channel/Clovis Man. One word, Clovis Man. And let's see if it'll get it big on the screen. No, dang it. There, expand, there. Chest. And you see the guy's head here, right? And here's his arm and his hand. Right there's his hand. And there's his chest. and look how these ridges right on here match right with the treasure. These black marks on the mountain. So this is the guy laying there with the treasure on his chest. Doesn't he look tired and weak? So that's the chest that was out there. And of course, you see the trees that are growing on his shoulders and stuff. No way you're going to pick up a chest that big. Switch around. Burning the candle at both ends. Where's the chat go? Hey, CJC. Hey, Dan. Have you decided if you're going to talk about your solve yet? I think it did. I think that it was quite a bit of it was mentioned there. It goes. I gotta get the poem so I can get things in order, and they are in order when you go down the highway. Highway 160 from Pagosa Springs to South Fork. So Pagosa Springs is where warm water halts. It's the world's deepest hot spring. But as I've gone alone in there, is referring to Moses. Moses went alone in the desert for 40 years. Okay, when Forrest was shot down in Laos, and he talked about walking out of there, and he decided to call the Jolly, the rescue guys. He didn't want any of them getting killed rescuing him. Anyhow, so if I'm trying to tell a story, I can't read things when I'm trying to explain something. It just throws me off. So anyhow, he was going to walk out of Laos walk to the coast of Vietnam, I guess, which would have never made it. And so he was rescued, and 40 years later, he put out The Thrill of the Chase. And the thrill of the chase, he says it's too far to walk. That's the same as Moses walked for 40 years in the desert alone. Now, if it was too far, 40 years was too far to walk. Forrest Fenn never thought he'd be walking 40 years later when he was sitting in that jungle in Laos. He never thought he'd be walking another 40 years. And 40 years later, out comes the book. No, I'm not focusing. No other treasure hunts. I might look for Dead Man's Cave here in Colorado, but because I'm close to it. That's one other treasure I probably got close to while I was out here. But no, I'm not. I wouldn't follow them any. I don't give a shit about Toby's treasure. See a guy sitting down like that in Arizona. Folks tell me that I'm cloud spotting. Yeah, well, Eric Sloan, he drew clouds and weather and stuff. Airplanes flying through over the clouds and. I don't want to see that. Gypsy's Kiss crap. CJC. I agree. Treasure thing. So anyhow, the Gone Alone and Too Far to Walk and all that still refers to Moses. Moses went walking in the desert for 40 years. And what I'm getting at is the whole poem is basically about Moses. He took the tablets in the canyon down, and Moses was the meekest man on earth, and halfway up 1,000-foot karst, or 1,000-foot stone bluff, halfway up that 1,000-foot stone bluff, where Moses is, that's no place for meek Moses. And my picture of Moses is that. And excuse me a minute while I go turn off the radio that came on in my bedroom. I'll be right back. I'd probably get knocked. For country music on it, A copyright strike because the alarm radio came on. Yeah. 40 years is a long time to walk, yeah. I just got out of breath just going back there to turn that off. It's just the other side of my bathroom's right behind. This is my shower right behind this wall. And, so on the other side of my bathroom's my little RV bedroom. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't. Yeah, you probably wouldn't work out well. Everybody, Moses didn't make it to the promised land. Yeah, and then he was given the title of prophet afterwards. Hey, Jason. Rockfish. John Wood. Are you braving in the wood, John? Did you say that you talked to... no, I haven't talked to Forrest since May 27. I talked to him May 27. And all he could do was quote Moses. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Let your indulgence set me free. I just told him, I don't want anything from you, Forrest. But yeah, we're all been searching for the treasure, and I suppose since he was quoting Moses, I should have said, "Let your indulgence set me free." Is the because Moses asked God, "What do you want from me?" And God said, "Tell the Pharaoh to set my people free." Sediment deposits dumped by flood. No, when Moses, when the Israelites were fighting the Pharaoh's army, and Moses, when Moses held up his staff, his people were winning as long as he held his staff up, but he couldn't hold his arms up over his head that long. All he was holding was a stick. You know the stick in the box thing? He was holding his stick over his head. And that was the heavy load, was the stick. and because he couldn't keep holding his arms up, his staff, the rod of God, whatever you want to call it. So he's holding the stick over his head, so that his people would continue to win in battle. Two of the Israelites were helping him hold his arms up because that stick was a heavy load. Now, these are all the things that say that this is the poem's about Moses. But the poem also takes you from Pagosa Hot Springs, the world's deepest hot springs, where warm water halts 1,000 feet down, and it takes you to past Bootjack Ranch, where across from the gate of Bootjack Ranch, the gypsies are up on the canyon wall dancing. That's where the memories are put in below the home of Brown, up on the canyon wall. That's where you start seeing the gypsies, and that's why they have a campfire in the drawing of the gypsies. That's why there's a campfire, because that's the first blaze is where the gypsies are. And he said there's 10 billion blazes out there. The poem takes you to Iowa. I know somebody getting a laugh out of that, right, Jason? Forrest, what he needs is a serape, like what Moses was wearing, with the hole and it draped over his shoulders, put his arms out. Make it. Just saying. Okay, so it takes you from Pagosa Hot Springs to the home of Brown, which is Bootjack Ranch, owned by David Jennings Brown, who died in 2013. He put the property up for sale the same time the book came out. And the property was sold, I think, in 2012 or something, before David died. And now it's owned by a different corporation. It's not, the land isn't owned, 3,500 acres isn't owned by David Jennings Brown anymore. He's divided up parts of it, and you can buy a 35-acre parcel for $5 million right now. Okay, so you get to the home of Brown, David Jennings, Bootjack Ranch, and this is a bootjack, and it's double omega. It's omegas, omega. Okay, that's a bootjack. And then from there, it's no place for the meek. Well, if you're by the gate of Bootjack Ranch, and you've come from Pagosa Springs to Bootjack Ranch, and the next obstacle in your way is Wolf Creek Pass. That's no place. That's a no place for the meek. Wolf Creek. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? And Red Riding Hood and stuff. And who rescued Red Riding Hood? The woodsman. The woodsman with the axe. So, and at the top of Wolf Creek Pass are heavy loads. The ski lifts taking people up to the top of the mountain. And it holds, like 120 tons of people can ride on that thing. That's a heavy load of people on it, And just think a quad chair with with 4 200-pound honeys on it. What's that weigh? It's 800 pounds. That's a heavy load. So, so there's the ski lifts are heavy loads. And like someone else, I think Troy mentioned, the ski lifts were invented by somebody who knew about the banana hooks that carried the bananas. It was a banana conveyor thing in the sky, and they'd harvest the bananas and put them on the hooks, and it'd carry the bananas or whatever. So, and bananas are also blazes. As he said, there's 10 billion of them out there. I'm sure there's been 10 billion bananas in the world before. But so they're up there on top of the mountain is Wolf Creek ski area. And right there at the ski area, you got to drive through the ski area to get to this lake, is Alberta Reservoir. Alberta means noble and bright. And I mean, bright, if you've been wise and found the blaze, if you were bright and found the blaze, basically about the same thing. If you're smart enough to find the blaze, but that's only, like I said, there's lots of blazes out there. And, Forrest, like I said, there's 10 billion blazes out there. So from this lake, Alberta Reservoir, if you look quickly down, it has a dam. He said where warm waters halt isn't a dam. That's not a dam. But he didn't say that Waters High wasn't a dam, But the other thing about it, he said the treasure was between 5,000 feet and 10,200 feet. Alberta Reservoir is at 10,200 feet. So it's a blaze, okay? So it's below 10,200 feet. It's below the blaze. Look down. Follow, and I looked below, along the creek and all that, below the reservoir. I paddled around the reservoir on my raft and stuff. And I looked underwater with my camera and everything, And so what I did was I said, okay, look quickly, I got to follow this creek. I followed the creek. The creek ended at Pass Creek. If you should think in me, when I had passed this vale, the pass, when he passes away, the pass and all that, passing stuff, when I passed this vale. So it ended at Pass Creek. And where it ends at Pass Creek is the W of the word wood. That's, if you look on Google Earth, this is one of the things you can see on Google Earth, and you tilt it so west is at the top, and you see the word wood there at where the W starting where Pass Creek and the creek from Alberta Reservoir meet. It's Alberta Park Reservoir is the official name. And the reason I was there, I was looking for the end of his rainbow, or the beginning of his rainbow, and I was heading for Rainbow Hot Springs. And so I saw there was free camping at Alberta Reservoir. And when I camped there, I looked up Alberta and what it meant. And that there's a noble and bright. Noble is a title, and bright is a blaze, and bright is wise. Wise and bright are pretty close to get, You may be a bright kid, but when you're an old man, you'll be a wise old man. It's kind of like brightness leads to wisdom. But so anyhow, so there's the W where the creek ends at Pass Creek. The creek from Alberta Reservoir ends at Pass Creek. And then, it's the W of the word wood. And in that W of the word wood, I found the ZPU gun. It's where Road 360, where it crosses over Pass Creek. Where it crosses over Pass Creek. And when you're coming up to the creek, you can see the ZPU gun on the hill just before you make the bend over the creek. And the ZPU gun is up there. It's a pair of round rocks so there's a round rock and there's trees that have fallen, one pointing up and one pointing down, because his friend came by and took that gun out. Boom, broke the gun. It's laying on the ground. You just search for Double Blazes University, and these are on Zazzle. I think I put one up that just has the front. Some of them have the back, like this one. On the back, it has the Blaze and Moses on there. I gotta twist my back, crack. And I have another one that has my Femboree design from 2017 on it, or the 2019 Femboree's design. And Double Blazes, and I think I'm going to incorporate Double Blazes University as be a nonprofit, but I'll incorporate it and stuff, and then I take investors or what, because I gotta to make it a nonprofit. I have to have more than myself. I have to have a board. So anyhow, in the W, I found the ZPU gun, and I also found Skippy's helicopter. Now, Skippy's helicopter contraption, the W is just below the Highway 160s coming down the mountain above the wood. It's up on the hill way up above the wood, half mile or so. But the W kind of extends in there, and there's a scree pile under the highway, and it's like 500 feet down from the highway is a wrecker, a tow truck gearbox off the back of a tow truck, where I guess a tow truck was trying to pull a truck up or something, and the tow truck went over, and that thing was too heavy for him to get back up to the highway, so they left it there. So there's this gearbox with these metal panels laying around, scattered around, just like the description of Skippy's helicopter contraption. But Forrest prayed for D's, and the word wood is cut out of the Forrest there, and in the D of the, I had searched the W, I searched the O's, and I'm looking through these, because he mentioned the 300-foot meadows with belly-high grass meadows, these 300-foot meadows. And I searched around, the W's, the O's, and the D, I went from the other end, and there was an old road that went into the wood there, but the road's gone. There's no bridge over the creek, so you gotta ford the creek. I had to cross the creek to get to the ford. I had to ford the creek to get to the ford, and that's where the Model A Ford was, the Buffalo Cowboy car. But before I found the Buffalo Cowboy car, I was a small letter, lowercase d, has a hole at the bottom of the D, and I was in the hole rabbit hole of the D, and I found there was a rabbit sitting there. I took his picture, and he didn't move. Let me take his picture and stuff. And then I have a video on YouTube, finding the Buffalo Cowboy car. Shankopotamus, I explained it. Pagosa Hot Springs is the world's deepest hot spring. 2,000 feet down is where the warm water halts, in the hot, steamy, muddy bottom. Forrest mentioned hot, steamy, muddy bottoms several times. Hot, steamy, muddy bottom. Where is warm water halt? At the bottom. Throw a rock in and see where it halts. Where's the rock halt? At the bottom. Throw your fishing weight in. Where does it halt? At the bottom. Okay, so I found this rabbit in the D of wood, and I had my camera going on my stick cam, right? I have my camera on a stick, and Forrest puts a stick in the box. And it's about the staff of Moses and all. Here I am walking around, not knowing it's about Moses, with a stick. With a camera on the end of it. And so I'm walking out in the and I see this thing. It looks like a rusty gas can or something, because I could see the opening, the where the cap goes, And I got closer and I said, that's part of a car. Is it the back of the car? And I finally figured out. I thought it was a Model T or what. No, I looked. It was a Model A. It was a Model A Ford, just like what Skippy is in the Buffalo Cowboys, just like the car his father had, just like the car that Georgia O'Keeffe had and did her paintings in the back, from the back seat of her Model A. His father on the Banco. It's a Model A. The Banco's the Model A. So I'm walking and I think this is oh man, this is the Buffalo Cowboy car. Holy shit. My jar fell over. And so I went out there I went and visited the Model A cowl where it was a few times. I went out there and I used my metal detector. It said there was something there, but I went down like maybe a foot or two. And I could see that the soil wasn't disturbed down there, and so I just filled it back in. And that's why if you dig a hole, you got to fill it back in. Any treasure hunter, will tell you, check your hole. That's the other one. Well, what's in your hole? No, but and then I thought, well, shit, man, if that's part of the treasure hunt, as long as it's sitting there, somebody else can find it and claim they found it, So I got my car as close as I could, and I went out there, and it had a couple little side panels on it that I took off, and I left them in that hole of the D. Somebody else had found one of them after I had already taken the cowl. It's called COWL, right? And what cowl lasers? His name is Cowling, and that's a cowling from a Ford, and he doesn't even know what a cowling is. That's like, what the? He doesn't even know what a cowling is. And maybe that's why one reason Forrest let him be part of the, because his name was a clue. Like Cynthia Ann was a clue. Cynthia Ann Parker. Okay. So I got the Buffalo Cowboy car and stuff. And I was searching. I continued following down the creek, And I was walking down the creek. I had some old tennis shoes with socks. And the creek came up to my knees, maybe at the most. and except for one spot was a little swimming hole, and I took a bath in it, and I actually recorded when I went to take a bath in it. Yeah, I was butt naked, right? And all you see is my legs, below anything, below my, and anyhow, so I went out there, and as I got real close to the little bathing hole, I slipped on the bedrock, and my legs went right in the bathing hole. And I hit the thing to turn the camera around, and it went back. So I'm still here. That was my tablet screwed up. So let's see if I can. Oh, come on, computer thing, tablet, whatever. Now I'll go around to the other side of my car and see if I got it set up right. Nope. Nope. I need a booster under it. So I'll wedge this in here, and that should, oh, come on, tablet, cooperate with me. As soon as I let go of it, it wants to keep aiming at the ground. Oh, get another rock here. Put another booster under it. Oh, come on, tablet. Now it's going to want to fold. That should do it. Let me make sure we're still on. Yeah. Now you probably see the sunset. Don't see me so well. Okay. So I slipped in the hole, swimming hole. Okay. Sorry about that. Like I said, I couldn't see the screen. And my damn YouTube app crashed. This is probably the last time I will use my tablet to do a stream. Because I thought you all were seeing, I don't know where I left off. Where was I? Where was I when I left off? Where was I when I left off? I told a lot of story. One day they'll make these tablets and stuff here in America. Yeah, I don't know when the thing crashed. I wasn't looking. The screen, I was using the front camera, the other camera on the other side. But I guess I can never, ever trust that. The app crashed, I guess, and I got back in. But where did I leave off? Where did it crash at? What was I talking about? Right after you went outside. Huh. Right after I went outside. Oh, so all of that. Fudge. Right, repeating myself. Look at that, though. Isn't that cool? Look at that sunset. Excuse my crappy old trailer there. No, I never said it was found in Montana. God. Never ever. It was not found in Montana. The blaze was found in Colorado. Look at that blaze. Yeah, I'll let you look around. There's Mount Blanca. So we're walking over to the Buffalo Cowboy car. Yeah, YouTube, fix your app so it works on a Zen pad. Yeah. Tired of garbage app, garbage tablet, garbage apps. And so this is the Buffalo Cowboy car. That's the bullet hole. The bullet. Never trust an Android product when you're streaming, right? Well, my phone does better, but I'm using my tablet here today. I show enough of the ground. Where's the sunset gonna show up with its colors like that, huh? Yeah, that's sunset here. So, yeah, I got the Buffalo Cowboy car, and that was found below Tucker Ponds. Did I tell you about Tucker Ponds? And Tired and Weak is tuckered, and Tucker Ponds is the place where I found the Buffalo Cowboy car down in the meadow shaped like a D of the word wood. I'll just lean on. I've got this sitting on top of my car, and I'm leaning on my car. I got my arms on the roof of my car. Yeah, do I have my flashlight in my pocket? No, I don't. Yeah, I'll go get one. These are my. This is what I was doing when the video. I was building this thing here, my porch. I got to make a step for it, but I got the main thing, the porch thing, done. Oh, it's a big step. And my tea's not burning. There we go. Oh, my big flashlight. Oh, that's what the flashlight's for. Do it over here. Prop it up on the stick. Put my head in the right place. It's not like a lot of searchers, they got their head up there, you know. Oh. So, I turn this, get that up there more. I hear dogs barking a half mile away over there. Oh. Okay. So the wood is below Tucker Ponds. And I took the Buffalo Cowboy car. I went down. I stored it here at a guy's place. And I went down to Texas. I went to the Pima Air Museum. in January of 17, and got pictures of F-100s and airplanes there. I don't know what we search for. I've got all these. What he said about more discoveries. Well, finding the treasure was a discovery if you don't know it, because the Moses figure was ancient ruins from Atlantis, and Moses wasn't actually isn't Moses. Moses was Thoth. Because I matched the scene of Moses standing there on the mammoth, parting the Rocky Mountains. I matched that to a scripture from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I in my robe of purple and gold and crown of silver, raise my arms and cry the invocation that opens the trouble gates at the meeting place of the lords of the risings of the east and the west, and the gateway to the plains. And it's the Southwest Passage, not the Northwest Passage. The Northwest Passage was Lewis and Clark. This is the Southwest Passage. Find a substitute, he said. Looks like I have a neighbor. Where? Oh, that thing? That's my storage trailer. This thing right here, that thing right there is my storage trailer. That was on this land when I bought it. And yeah, I put a hasp and a lock on it, and that's things that don't fit in my RV go in there. And my rock collections, and I got some rocks in there, and I got my bike in there and stuff like that. Old generators that don't work, they go in there. So anyhow, Tucker Ponds is tired and weak. Tuckered, tired and weak. And below Tucker Ponds is the word wood cut out of the forest, where I found the Buffalo Cowboy car. And if you go down 160, well, Forrest hinted kind of that there were more than the rock formation I found that I called the Forrest Fenn's Totem. He said, well, you found it, but there's 40 of them, right? There's more? I got to look for more of them. And I went looking, and that's when I found Thoth riding the ibis, and I found the double blazes, his pile of airplanes, and all that stuff. Starting to hear airliners flying over again. And the canopy of stars is going to come out real soon. But so I found Thoth or Thoth riding the ibis, and I found the pile of airplanes and his fighter jet, and this thing with him with the cowboy hat. It's a rock art thing. You have to look at it. And marvel gaze means you have to look at it long enough to see the shapes that are there. Moses lived in Atlantis. All of these religious stories are old stories of that are rehashed. Like Jesus was Osiris was born to a virgin mother and all that stuff, and Moses rises again. Jesus rose again after 3 days. Forrest was shot down at winter solstice and rose again a day or two later. That's biblical. That has to do with winter solstice, and he was shot down at winter solstice. And then you can only see Moses up there at winter solstice. But the Moses figure on the rock up there is actually Thoth from Atlantis. Oh, Moses wasn't in Atlantis. No, Moses was an Egyptian story. And So there you have an Egyptian story in the Christian Bible. Isn't that kind of pagan? You want, oh no, Christians are pagans? Yeah, as soon as they had another god, they were no longer monotheists when they called Jesus a god. No longer a monotheism. So anyhow, from Tucker Ponds, 160 continues east towards South Fork. But coming down from Tucker Ponds, there's a tunnel. And Forrest said he was taking it with him. And to take it with you, you got to go past the light at the end of the tunnel. I went, and I was telling Forrest at 2017 February about the tunnel. And he said, I told you it's not in the tunnel. It doesn't have anything to do with the tunnel. It's not in the tunnel. That's dangerous. Blah, blah, blah. I said, no, Forrest. I went all the way through. I went past the light at the end of the tunnel. That's you're taking it with you. You got to go past the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and all along he's trying to tell me, oh no, nothing to do with nothing. He's always, nope, nothing to do with it. I had never heard of that place. That's all he'd ever, trying to throw me off, and he can't throw me off. Even with this, I found some anonymous searcher thing that doesn't throw me off. It did for a little, and I got very angry at it because, here I am. I did all this. I found all this stuff, and he's saying somebody else just cut in line and took it from me. No, I was upset with that, but then I got my head on. And I go, he's playing his part. Remember Shakespeare? There's your entrances and exits. You play your part and make your exit. He hasn't made his exit yet. He's still playing his part. He's playing that part of. He's playing God, like the joke. What's the difference between a fighter pilot and God? God doesn't think he's a fighter pilot. So that fits right in with the chase too, And anybody talking? That. Yeah, it was not what freaking tablet. YouTube crashed on the tablet, and so it threw me offline for a minute. I don't know how long I was off. I was talking and talking. I don't know how much it didn't get. So go past the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's where I had put in for camp post for Tucker Ponds, where I found Forrest Fenn's totem and this waterfall and the wood and the Buffalo Cowboy car and all that. I was going to be camp post there, and when it came up camping season, the director guy at the camp post people, he called me up, and he said we don't have a camp host for Big Meadows. How soon can you be here? And I said, I can be up there this afternoon. I was just 40 miles away on BLM land with my RV, and so I was up there and hooked up, and so I was the camp host at Big Meadows, and it paid like 2.5 times as much as because the other one was 18 campsites and this one's 45, and I was the camp host. Oh, I hated doing the bookkeeping was hard, because you got to go through all the envelopes and enter everything in and separate, the camping from the extra vehicle and the firewood, and kind of run an accounting of everything. Oh, I did it all the last day of the week. And I had to have it sent over to the managers, and so I was doing the camp host all summer there, and I was able to be in my area the whole time. And after I'd have to do the rounds, check all the bathrooms, clean the bathrooms and stuff in the morning. And when I was done with that, I could take off for the day and go treasure hunting. But it rains a lot up there. And I found his pile of airplanes and all that stuff, and you go through the tunnel, and then there's when you come out of the tunnel, there's a big face up on the rock up there. On the other, you're heading straight for it when you come out of the tunnel. You see this big face up on the rock, and there are people rock climbing. If you take the right turn to go to Big Meadows, and it crosses over the creek, that's the Rio Grande, the South Fork of the Rio Grande. And when he said it was not near the Rio Grande River, he was being specific to the Rio Grande River. He didn't, in his head, the South Fork of the Rio Grande isn't the Rio Grande River. It's the South Fork of the Rio Grande. So, because the Rio Grande goes up and goes through Creed, and in Creed there's a Holy Moses mine even. And I've always wondered, because the Holy Moses mine, is that somebody had the Holy Moses mine? Did they know about this Moses figure on the side of the cliff? There's only a few minutes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, how long I was off, I don't know, because I was using the camera that was facing. I had the screen away from me, and I had the camera on the back of the tablet. I was trying to use that for the sunset because it's a better camera than this one. And if I back up right about here, the light's about right. So I'm just using a pen light. But so anyhow, on the way into the Big Meadows Reservoir off of 160, if you follow the South Fork of the Rio Grande up there, there's Hope Creek. No paddle up your creek, Hope. No hope up your creek is about the same as no paddle up your creek, And then the other way is Pink Creek, And Pink Creek, well, he had an art gallery. There's paint. There's hope and there's paint. And there's even Fox Mountain, okay? And what is Forrest Fenn? Foxtrot. So, Fox Mountain's an F. And if you go on Google Earth and you look at Heart Mountain, there's a deer there. It's like Nazca. And there's a deer up there, the Grim Reaper. There's a girl walking, taking a step. And these people walking is a theme in these rocks. Just like in Egypt, the figures are walking. And when they do this thing, that's an elephant trunk. Okay, that's where that come from. I'm the first person on Earth to figure that out. Oh, well, the first person on recent Earth. Yeah, I did find the treasure, Shankopotamus. If you keep being a little asshole, I'll block your ass. Yeah, that's how, the treasure was this trove of ancient art on the canyon walls. It's actually a discovery of remnants of Atlantis. Plato said Atlantis had a large rectangular valley surrounded by high mountains covered with crystals. That's this valley, the San Luis Valley. This is a sacred valley to the Hopis and everything. Aliens come out of the mountains and stuff like that, Here, coyote. He don't come around. Jack, he goes and he goes out a couple 100 feet and poops all the way around the property here. So And the coyotes know this is Jack's territory. They don't come here. There it is. But so you keep coming down past the tunnel, maybe a half mile more, and that's what you can see Moses along the. I won't say the specific spot where you see Moses yet, but I'll tell you it's not far from where you come out of that tunnel. But Moses was the treasure. The blaze is a treasure. His pile of airplanes is a treasure. The Forrest Fenn's totem thing I found is a treasure. And hang on one second here. I remembered something that I was gonna had planned for tonight. Hang on. There you go. It's a it's off ice. Tangy. Who's sending me messages on Facebook? Shots K9. I ain't seen no fireworks. I'll move the flashlight a little further back. That's better. It was too bright. It's still bright for me in my eyes, but it's the right light for the camera. So Moses is up there. But beyond Moses was the teacher waking him up at his desk, and another figure of him holding the tombstone, and the stout-hearted men were up on the cliff above the chain station. Now, why is the chain station important? 66,000 lengths. It's a chain station 8 miles south of South Fork. South Fork is SF. South Fork, Santa Fe, SF. And if you get closer to South Fork, there's the Lonesome Dove campground. The Lonesome Dove is tied to Quanah Parker. And Lonesome Dove and Quanah Parker, there's Parker, the ranch and all that. Pulling Eric Smallwell there, if you heard that. But Quanah Parker and is tied to Lonesome Dove. And Lonesome Dove campground and cabins is right next to the Moon Valley RV park. And so what do you have there? The crescent moon. The Moon Valley is the crescent moon, and the Lonesome Dove up on the moon. He's standing there looking up at the... And let's see if my canopy of stars shows up. And the canopy of stars is also about Moses. As in the book, there's a book, Moses and his rebellion in the court of Egypt. And it says, Moses stand there gazing up at the brilliant canopy of stars over his head. And right there, oh yeah, that's about Moses right there, So much of the poem is, I found more than 9 clues about Moses in the poem. And the frogs are about the plague of frogs. The plague of frogs. And what's in the box? A stick now, right? That's Moses, his stick that he threw down in front of the Pharaoh, and the stick turned into a my hand disappearing on yours too. Oh, I know what that is. That's the shadow from the light, because my tablet's in front of the light, and so that's the edge of the tablet there. Okay. But I also found, if you go to, there's a restaurant, Romero's in South Fork. The restaurant Romero's. If you go, the side, you're looking at the restaurant from the highway and to the right, and you'll find a rock like this. You'll find a rock doing this. There's a rock that's going peace. But all these rock sculptures are all the way over the mountain, and I found them all the way into the valley, like along the old Spanish Trail, and I found a pyramid and stuff there too. But there's rock sculptures all over, and those are the big discoveries. The treasure chest was small compared to the other stuff I found, and that's why he said it'll lead to other discoveries. That's what the other discoveries are. Yeah, I just heard I was turning around to look because I heard a truck going across back there. I don't know if you can see. If I get out, you can see there's some red. I see red and orange and stuff still in there, but the camera doesn't pick it up as nice. I got a 6-pack of screwdrivers, Forrest. Is that enough? Can't have that finger. I gotta have more than one finger sticking out, right? do the peace and not the one finger peace sign. Yeah, these little lights, this little light and that little light, yeah, those are just garden lights that I have on tiki light poles. See, I got like 5 of them across there, and I got one over on a fence post over there. I'm not. This is where I live. This is my own 5 acres. Mosquito got buzzed. Little mosquito fighter jet. The double blazes. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this isn't. I live in my RV here. With this coronavirus thing and stuff. I didn't want to go somewhere and have the ranger come by. You got to leave, And so I just figured I'd just stay here all summer. But then I did a sleep thing, and my oxygen gets real low when I'm sleeping. And so they prescribed me oxygen for when I sleep at night. That's why you don't see it on my face here now. But, and I have liquid oxygen, because I don't have electricity, steady electricity to power a concentrator. And so I have these 4 big, huge oxygen tanks, and I can't take off in my RV and leave them here. You know what I mean? And then I wouldn't have them in my RV, and I still need oxygen. So, and my RV is about retirement. It's over 20 years old now. It's a 2000, and it's over 20 years old. A lot of stuff doesn't work on it anymore. I got to rebuild the water heater, but even that ain't, because I don't have a well and steady running water to really use my water heater. I am sitting in my office in New Zealand on a rainy winter morning, watching you tell the story. Very thankful for Forrest. Yeah. This was all to lead to find this. He said he ran a full-page color ad for his art gallery and stuff. Well, the thrill of the chase was just the full-page color ad to advertise that this is a valley mentioned in Plato's writings about Atlantis. And these figures, the Moses figure, who is actually Thoth, he's standing on the head of a mammoth. If you look at the picture, he's standing on the head of an elephant, and there's people climbing on the side of the elephant and stuff. And these are all figures from Atlantis. The stories of Atlantis are all over this canyon, and it's amazing stuff. It's right out of the book of Ezekiel. And he had a head on, a head, and he had a face on each side. There's 4 faces on him, and it's really amazing stuff. I can add, these are better than beer. My neighbor, I go over to his place and a windy day or something, and he has wind whistling through the cracks around his window frames. You can hear the wind whistling, and the door of my RV last winter before this last one, and I had to break my window on the door to get in because I locked myself. I shut the door and it locked. I didn't lock it. It locked itself. And I had to break the window to get in. I was going to freeze to death. Anyhow, when I opened my door and it's windy outside, I replaced the glass with plexiglass. And it's 2 panes of plexiglass with a rubber thing around it. But the wind gets in between the plexiglass and the rubber, and my window doesn't whistle, it farts. There's still red in them clouds over there. I mean, up on both layers of clouds have red in them still for me. Yeah, you get these mosquitoes. I'm about to go. I think I will take it in because I get mosquitoes now. I think there's mosquitoes here are so small they can't bite you or something, but they buzz in your ear and get in your face. Redneck, you got the drones, right? You got that drone, that fancy drone. Come down here, and I'll show you where to fly your drone right up, and you can have it kiss Moses. Tried to tell Davio come down here, and we can rappel down and kiss Moses, but he doesn't listen. He's too busy. His mind doesn't stop and listen. or think much about what. Yeah, but Moses is right over there. About 70 miles from here. And now that I don't have to go look at the same rocks every time looking for the treasure, I can go exploring some of the other rocks on this side of the valley and stuff. I want to go, I'll make a video. I'll go up and visit. There's a waterfall right up here, Zapata Falls. And it's one of them canyons where the rocks are, straight up over you and over the top of you and stuff. And you walk through this like hallway through the rocks. I'm doing a little better since I've had the oxygen for sleeping. I don't wake up with a headache anymore. I was waking up with headaches and stuff, and my oncologist says that to keep doing the oxygen at night because that's why my blood was going bad, because my oxygen was getting so low, it was poisoning me. Blood's full of carbon monoxide and shit, and needed more oxygen. But I don't know if I stay in Colorado too long. I don't know. I'll stay here. If I have the treasure chest, then I want to place in Pagosa Springs, closer to the hot springs and stuff. And I can see the highway over there. About 3 miles north of me is Highway 160. Any of you chatters on Facebook? Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Double Blazes University. Yeah, I changed my Forrest Fenn fanatics to Double Blazes University. Davi, I've sent him email. I said I've sent him my phone number. He doesn't call. He doesn't reply. If you catch him in the chat, that's the only time you get to talk to Doc. I went to the who was that? The Monet exhibit at the Denver Art Museum. Went there with Davio, and there was maybe 6-8 rooms of art, and he disappeared in first or second room. I didn't see him again. You know. Just has to take a drive alone. Yeah. These are straight up cliffs, and you can actually walk around and get up above where Moses is and rappel down to him. You know, so you could probably rappel, but yeah, you have rappel so you can pull your rope out after you're done. It would take quite a long rope, because Moses is a couple hundred feet down from the top, and at least a couple hundred feet up to 300 or 400 feet maybe. I don't know. I didn't measure it. I know it's like 900 feet from the road to the top of the hill that he's on. J. Paul Getty. J. Paul Getty. I've heard some bad things about Getty. Yeah. But I think there are ways to hike up to it, but I can't do that. Jack, you don't take your dog rock climbing. I had nobody to hold Jack while I climb up the rock and look. And as soon as I started, you're leaving me behind. All right. I think I swallowed a mosquito with that one. 26, yeah. Yeah, I had 40 something watching, and YouTube app crashed. You keep hoping that they fix it, and they never fix it. Yeah. It's pretty dark. Can you see stars yet? There's a moon. But I don't see any stars. I don't think the stars are going to come out on this. So, I'm going to drag it inside. Oh, can't put the light in my face. I can't see where I'm going. You see the sky is still a little blue, and you still see some color there in the sunset. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see as far as the highway lights. Oh yeah, that one bright one there, right in the middle. That one's up on the highway. Where's my steps? Weird. Well, it's warmer in here too. Plug some power in. Yeah. Oh, have a good rest. What do you mean? I didn't get up today till I think 1 o'clock. Because sometimes I'm up all night. I'm working on my art and stuff. I've been working on my thing here. You see there? See that guy there? See, that's his head. Here's an arm. There's an arm. Here's a leg, and here's a leg. But he was in the creek. And I've been putting together this. I'm printing these on canvas print, and this is the thoth. These are the legs here, and this is the ibis, and there's thoth on top of the ibis, riding the ibis. I'll show you the blaze quick. That's the blaze. That's Moses. Right here. This was the model for the wooden Moses. Graven in the wood. Moses. He's meek. And this one here I call the Mammoth Parade. This is a parade of mammoths. You can see the trunk on this one. The trunk comes down, ends here. But this is a mammoth. That's a mammoth. That's a mammoth. And back here, up here on that. That's why I take pills for that. Up here is a catwalk up here, and I took Sean Dodson. He stood. Sean Dodson. I had him standing up here. But this is a parade of elephants, or a parade of I call it the Mammoth Parade. And Forrest had said I felt like a crippled ant, an elephant parade. And that's why I call it the Mammoth Parade. And this one here is Wilma. Here's Wilma in her evening gown. And here's the mammoth. See the trunk come down? There's a mammoth right here. There's this woman in a dress right here. And I don't know what this guy is. This is a odd looking. See, he's got these two eyes here, but it's also got a head in here. It's trying to figure out what some of the stuff is. It's difficult. There's the Roman army after the water's flooded. This is right below the Moses figure. Oh, was she pointing at me? and here's Anubis. You see, this is Anubis, the dog-headed Egyptian god. This is his scepter. It has a vortex and people go into heaven, and here are people running to him. You see, there's people running to Anubis. Anubis was he was kind of hard to find, but I found him in my picture, and he's got the scepter. And this is I call this one the Clovis Queen. She's maybe 200 feet north of Moses. But you see there's faces here around her. This face here. There's another. This is an arm or something right here. There's face. This guy down here. But there's figures all the way around. Yeah, you see the two eyes here. This is a head, the face. This one here was one that was some art that was, it was covered by the earth, and when they excavated for the road, the dirt came away and exposed this. Let me see this face. See, this is the eye, his nose, his mouth. And there's this other guy here. And this woman here, they're looking face to face. And even the red spot in between them is a guy walking or something. That's why he says marble gaze, stare at it a while. Here's the peace sign I was telling you about. See, that's a hand doing a peace sign. So just like, oh, other hand. Just like this. You see it? Yeah, but that's in the town of South Fork. That's within the city limits of South Fork. And I got pages of my art. This was a real neat formation. This is at a place called the Fairy Hills. And there's all kinds of figures in there. Let's see. There, that's best. There's all kinds of figures in there. Like this person walking here. You see the two legs? And there's people leaning over the top, over that hole through the middle. It's not natural. It's man-made. and see, this is how. So I take that raw image and I convert it into art. where you might see stuff a little easier. But it's the same. The figures were already in the rock. Yeah, I found a unicorn too. And look at this. This one, you see, that's her ass. That's a woman bent over. Here's her arm, and she's laying there, and this guy says, looking at it. That's a unicorn, yeah. And this picture, it says Stargate. Like I said, the part of the poem where it says worth the cold, because the poem's about Moses, what Moses said about the cold, from my cold, dead hands, he's taking it with him to the grave. As long as Forrest is alive, don't ask anybody to show you the treasure chest. Forrest is the only one that can do that. This was a really neat. Because you see, there's a guy in here, and his old lady right next to him. See, that's a navel. This is an elephant, the trunk coming down, and there's just figures all, and there's somebody sitting up here. See, this is a face up here, and the arms, and so he's sitting there. There's the knees. And I take that and turn it into art. There. So that's why I show the original next to what the computer does. It's the same picture, just more colorful. Just like the guy here. This one looks cool, you know. There's his eyes, his nose, and he's buried up to his nose in mud. That's a Forrest in the Fenn. And this is where the blaze is. Where is it? We'll look at it. He's right in there. Right in there is where Moses is, and this is from further back, and so this is, you know, the whole mountain there, and so you can rappel from up here down to Moses right there, and this is from here, from where he is up to here is 150 feet or so, you know. And there's Zeus. You see him? And he's got a mammoth on the side. See this elephant here? There's an elephant, a mammoth on the side of his head up here. And you see there's somebody standing here. There's a leg, and the face, and his guy's head's an eyeball. Oh, I can't do this all night. I gotta find this. I got the mouse problem here, and I checked all my traps, but there's a mouse or something freaking died in here, and I gotta find it. This one's really cool. Because you can see all the figures in there, can't you? It's pretty obvious. The guy with the white shirt, and then there's people on top, and the whole thing is a face. Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff I found. And this here, I'll show it further back. That's off a rock. And if that's not a king and a queen, this here, see this woman's face here. There's people over here too. Is this still going? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, not for long though. The YouTube app crashed, and I didn't know it. There's the thoth on the ibis. This is the guy riding on top of the ibis up here, and you see this is the beak, the bird's head, and there's a man up here riding on top. This is the wing coming down here. And this is the tree of life over here. And there's the mammoth lovers holding the mammoth. The couple standing here, and it's the elephant trunk coming down. This is the mammoth figure. Yeah. Who's messaging me? Yeah. Moses was riding a unicorn. No, he was standing. He's riding an ibis, and the other one, he's standing on top of a mammoth. Screwdriver. Don't feel anything. Oh. Well, yeah, 1:59. Was that my original time? Or since I discovered I was turned off and had to restart it? Okay. I'm still here. But, yeah, I've about, I went over my solution, really, and the treasure hunt led to the Moses figure. Moses was carved in wood. If you're brave and in the wood like Moses, Moses was meek. He's halfway up 1,000-foot karst. Here's Togo. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm about done. I'm out of breath. Start my generator and put a TV dinner in the microwave because I don't want to cook anything else. I didn't go to Walmart today, but I'll have to tomorrow because I'm out of breakfast supplies. Yeah, regular shows might be more about the Atlantis stuff because I can't keep repeating myself, you know. I just can't keep repeating myself, and they never listened in the first place. I already had it solved. You know, like I said, 2018, I sent pictures of the blaze to Forrest, and he was hoping that this would end when he died, except too many people were claiming their death was Forrest Fenn's fault. And I know there's the two guys in Utah. Utah wasn't part of the search area. You can't claim Forrest Fenn made you do it. He told you it wasn't he's not in Utah. Well, but he got tired. He didn't want any more death blamed on him, and he already had the winter was already done. But he hadn't died yet, so he said, "Well, I ain't dying yet, so I better call this off, make it end, because we already have a winner." Yeah, he wanted to end people claiming that they died because of him and their loved ones suing Forrest because their spouse went out on a snowmobile where there's no snow and got stuck out in the freezing cold in the dead of winter. The guy died of exposure. I watched a video about a guy rafting down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon alone, and he lost his raft and tried to get. He was almost dead when they found him, and the thing is, if you go out there unprepared for that or unprepared to die, then you can die from it. Yeah. Yeah, do those guys in Utah have smoke? It's not legal there. We have it here. Yeah. So what else happening? True. Yeah, the blaze was Moses. The whole poem's about Moses. Is a biblical. He said, "My church is in the mountains and the river bottoms." And then people try to say, "Well, he said he wasn't religious." He said he wasn't religious. He said his church is in the mountains and river bottoms. But he's not religious. He's spiritual. He has his own church. When you're spiritual, you study the religions, but you don't belong to any of them. Religion is a gang thing. I'm not part of their political party, basically. Independent. Spiritual is independent religion. I think Forrest. You say yes or no, people solves without telling what state or where. That would be awesome. Yeah. Well, he there again. If he did that and stuff, he didn't intend for this to end until he was dead. When he was dead and buried, that was when the end of his rainbow was his death. And that's when he had planned for the chase to end. We were his entertainment to the grave. So continue to, go out there and search for things. But look for the things that are unusual and don't belong there, or you were told don't belong there. People don't want to admit that this was part of Atlantis. The continent of Atlantis. It had an island port city. So don't get the island confused with the continent. And if there was a major tidal wave that went 100 miles inland or something, anybody coming from Europe coming over here would have seen a wasteland and believed that the whole place was destroyed when they didn't make it up here high in the mountains. The reason they were here was because of catastrophes like that in the past that wiped everything out. And so they knew that being high in the mountains was a safe place to be when a giant tidal wave came. And the tidal waves of 2011 and 2004 are nothing compared to the ones that can happen. If a big meteorite hits in the ocean, you're going to have a tidal wave a mile high. And it's going to go hundreds of miles inland, not just 15 miles inland, not just 100 feet above sea level. They'll be to thousands of feet above sea level. They pulled seashells out of the mountainsides over 1,000 feet high in Hawaii. And that they're there because of tidal waves, 1,000 feet high. If you live on the coast, you're vulnerable to that stuff. And anywhere you're vulnerable if it's a direct hit. But if you're on the coast, you're vulnerable to anything that hits in the ocean. If that big wave comes across the ocean, you're gone. You want to live in a bubble house that floats. So the wave just comes under you and you float up on top of the water. Oh, well. Well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do more metal detecting, just metal detecting, looking for silver coins and stuff like that. Or things that are buried, treasures in the ground. Yeah. Red Rocks was the shoreline before. The Carlsbad Caverns used to be underwater, under the ocean. But they're talking millions of years ago. They don't know how far. They found human tools in coal deposits that are 35 million years old. They found a sledgehammer embedded in the coal and the rock that's 35 million year old deposit. So don't believe everything that academia tells you, because they don't know shit. All right. Noticed a few weeks ago, someone had a campfire by the Mammoth Parade. Yeah. Someone had a campfire by the Mammoth Parade, huh, Tom? You know where the Mammoth Parade is? The Old Spanish Trail. Go down about 3.5 miles. And don't turn left. You make the one left. You come over to the first little hill, and you make that left. But when you get down to the next little dam thing, and it goes left over the little dam, you go straight ahead, and that'll take you to the Mammoth Parade. Yeah, one of the big mosquito eater bugs flew in here. That's why I have a, where'd it go? Somewhere here, a big electric fly swatter. I don't know where it went. There it is. He's flying around. It's a weird spot, too. Someone shocked him. Yeah, I think they have a fire ban in Alamosa County. I don't know why. These fire bans and all this COVID bans. You can't go here, can't do this, can't do that. That's all unconstitutional. I don't see any reason you can't have a safe fire. It's people that start a fire when the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. That's stupid. You're asking for it to spread. You have your campfire when there's no wind, and you clear out 10 feet around your fire pit. I've seen people make campfires right in the middle of a bunch of grass. Stupid. Around here, the little tufts of grass are, just a few inches across, and if one of them, a spark got out, you could stomp it out. We did west of Sawgash despite the ban. Not to breathe. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I burnt my trash at 3 a.m. Nobody's up to see it. Yeah, yeah, there's sage and little grass and little cactus and all my neighbors are farmers. They grow marijuana here. Every one of my neighbors I met. And there's a guy over here with a big Quonset hut-like shaped thing. And the opening of the Quonset shape pointed over here. And at night there's a real bright light in there. It says grow light. I haven't seen rattlesnakes here. I've seen gopher snakes and rat snakes, but no rattlesnakes here. I see them closer to where there's lots of rocks. If there's rocks, they're probably rattlesnakes. But I haven't seen any rattlesnakes here. I had a gopher snake that was in the glue trap, mouse glue trap, and yeah, I couldn't get him off the trap, and he was suffering, and he rolled his eye over into the glue, and I said, okay, I'll put you out of here. I put him out of his misery. Like goats. Yeah, I've seen sheep herders over by the Mammoth Parade. Sheep herders take their sheep down there in the summer. Let the goats to town. All right. Well, that's enough. 2 hours and 14 minutes of video. I don't know if that's all three sections put together or what. But I know not to use that. Just use this one camera facing me thing. And that way I can see what it's doing. Because if I use the camera on the other side, it's going to... Oh, he can't see that I've turned off. I'll be glad they're going to start making computers in America again. And then they'll be made right. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Adios.